Mavs fans, what's going on? Welcome into NBA Now from Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, and today I'm going to be breaking down some winners and losers from the Mavs' first few preseason games. Let's get right into it with Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. That duo is my first big winner from this preseason. Luka, 22 points per game, 8 boards, 5 assists, 41% from 3, and 42% from the field. Something else that Luka's been doing really well is shooting from the free throw line. He's getting to the line and he's making his shots. We all know that was a struggle for him a little bit last year. It's going to come around. It's looking better so far in the preseason. Now, Porzingis, his percentages don't look great, but let's look at his numbers first. 15.3 points per game, 8 rebounds, 1.7 assists. That's not what he does. 28% from 3 and 35% from the field. So yes, his percentages are down. Let's talk a little bit more about Kristaps Porzingis. Look, he's getting open shots. That is the most important thing, is that he's open from 3. He's getting to the rim. His shot mechanics look great, and he's not scared to plant or drive with that knee that used to give him so many issues. And that's the most important thing. The percentage, it's going to come around. He's going to be knocking down those shots when he's open. I'm not worried about it at all. He's just knocking off some of the rust. You got to give the guy who's missed a year and a half of basketball to get comfortable again, and I think he's going to be okay. Now, his defense hasn't looked great quite yet. It looked really good against the Thunder. Didn't look great against the Pistons. Didn't look great against the Bucks by any means. He got torched by Giannis, but that is the MVP of the league, so I'm not that worried about it. Now, let's take a look at Porzingis' totals from the preseason so far. 46 total points, 25 rebounds. I've been really impressed with Porzingis' rebounding so far because we all know, even though he's 7'3", he's historically not the best rebounder in the game, but he's looked good so far in preseason in nearly 70 total minutes played. Now for the duo, I'm giving them a B+ and A-, low A, high B grade. I want you to grade it though, A, B, C, D, or F. I don't think you can call it a D or an F. I think they've looked absolutely terrific. I'm only knocking them down to a high B, maybe a low A, because of the percentages from Porzingis, but overall, it's looked incredible, and the future is bright in Dallas. Speaking of future, let's talk about another young guy that's impressed me a lot, Justin Jackson. Now, he, of course, is competing to be that starting small forward in the starting 5 with Luka, Porzingis, Delon Wright, and Dwight Powell, and so far, he's looked like he's the guy. I mean, he's getting to the bucket. He's been really aggressive on the offensive end, knocking down his threes. Defensively, he's looked good in space. He's a good perimeter defender. That extra 20 pounds of body weight that he has added looks really good. I'm impressed with Justin Jackson so far. His stats in preseason, 10.3 points per game, 1.5 rebounds. That could be a little bit better. 63% from the field and 40% from 3. The best thing about Justin Jackson is that if his 3 ball isn't falling, he can get to the bucket. He can knock down that mid-range floater that he is so good at. I have loved what I've seen from Justin Jackson. But let's compare him to the other wings that he's competing against for a starting spot. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dorian Finney-Smith. Now you can see Justin Jackson's stats there, but then compare him to Dorian Finney-Smith, who did miss a game because of the tweaked hamstring. 7 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, definitely a better rebounder, and 43% from the field. He has not been as efficient as Justin Jackson. Speaking of inefficient, Tim Hardaway Jr., 10.8 points per game, 2 boards, and 47% from the field. Here's my thing with Tim Hardaway Jr. He looked great coming off the bench against the Thunder, and that's where I think he needs to be, is in a 6-man role. I like him there. I want to keep him there throughout the season and let Justin Jackson start. But who do you want to be the 5th starter? Maybe you are all in on Tim Hardaway Jr. Maybe it is Justin Jackson. Maybe it's Dorian Finney-Smith, whoever it may be. Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get into one other guy who I declare one of the biggest winners of the preseason for the Mavs, Jalen Brunson, the young second-year point guard that was a second-round pick last year. We all loved him last season. This season, I think he's going to have an even bigger role, and he's really already stepping into it in this preseason. I have loved what I've seen from Brunson. You can't talk about him without saying the word crafty, because that is literally what he does all the time on the floor. He gets into the bucket, he gets into the paint, he gets into space, he makes the right pass, he's knocking down threes consistently, and he has a great mid-range game as well. So far in preseason, these are Jalen Brunson's stats: 11 points per game, 4 assists, 60% from the field, 33% from beyond the three-point arc. Now, here's a quick reminder about Jalen Brunson. He did miss a game because of a tweaked hamstring. It's not a big deal. He'll be right back for the season opener. He may even play in the final preseason game for the Mavs, but I doubt it. There's really no reason to play him right now. The reason that Brunson has looked so good, or I guess the reason that it is so important that he's looked so good, is because he's becoming the primary backup for the Dallas Mavericks. The 3 point guards on the roster right now are Delon Wright, JJ BAREA, and Jalen Brunson. Now, Delon Wright has looked pretty good. He started slow, but he's slowly picking it up. I believe in him. And defensively, you just can't take him out of the starting 5. JJ BAREA, we'll get to him in a minute. He's no longer the primary backup. It is solely up to Jalen Brunson to back up Delon Wright and come in and really be a secondary playmaker for Luka Doncic or whoever he's playing with at the time. Big believer in Brunson. I've really loved what I've seen from him so far in preseason. Now, Mavs fans, I want to give you an opportunity to make some money this NBA season with our partners at BetDSI. Here's all you got to do. Go to chatsports.com/bet. That's chatsports.com/BET. And then put in our promo code that we're giving just to NBA fans so that they know they can get some money back when they place a deposit with BetDSI. NBA 120. That's our promo code. Letters NBA, the numbers 120. That's all it is. They're going to give you a 120% deposit bonus when you place your first bet with BetDSI. Go bet on some Dallas Mavericks games. We're finally going to be winning games. There's no more tanking in Dallas. So go place your money down with BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NBA 120. Now we talked about the winners. We got to talk about the losers for the Mavericks so far. And the first big loser, really oddly enough, is Seth Curry. I really just haven't been impressed with what I've seen from him so far. And he hasn't been getting really consistent minutes. It's been kind of weird. The main thing that I've had a problem with Seth is that he's just not being aggressive looking for his shot. He looks a little timid. Maybe he's just trying to get back into the flow of the offense. But here's the thing, Seth. He's already been on this Dallas Maverick team before. He's already played for Rick Carlisle. He knows his system. He should be one of the most aggressive newcomers on the team in all reality, and it hasn't been that at all yet. Another thing, he can be a really good playmaker. I think he could be a 6-man. He hasn't shown that so far. His stats in the preseason this year, he's played in all the games, but the numbers haven't looked that good. 3.5 points per game, 1.5 assists, 30% from the field, and 50% from 3. Now, 50% from 3 is great, but he's only shooting the ball 2 times per game from beyond the 3-point arc, and he's making one of them, as he should be, making at least half of his shots, but he should be shooting more. That's what he needs to do. So, one thing that this has got me to think about is who is the real 6-man on this team? Maybe it is Jalen Brunson, but when you talk about microwave scorers, your scorers here are Seth Curry and Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. has looked a lot better. 10.8 points per game, 2.3 assists, 47% from the field, and 45% from 3. His 3 balls going in during preseason. And Curry's only played 14 minutes per game. Tim Hardaway Jr. has played 22 minutes per game. So, not really sure what Rick's tinkering with there, but right now it looks like Tim Hardaway Jr. has got the edge over Seth Curry. Has Curry's preseason worried you guys? Worried the Mavs fans? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I don't like to take too much stock into preseason because it's preseason and nobody's going 100% as they should not be. But this is worrisome. I haven't liked what I've seen from him so far. So let me know in the comment section below. Has Seth Curry's slow preseason start worried you at all? Now let's talk about another guard that has kind of just dipped his stock a little bit. It's JJ BAREA. Everybody loves JJ. He is a Dallas Maverick legend. There's absolutely no debate about that. Listed at 5'10" now. He got knocked down from 6 foot, which he's been getting away with in the league for a while. But, I mean, the thing with JJ is that he's coming off a torn Achilles. He tore his Achilles in January, so he really has had a good, speedy recovery. But it's not that he's looked terrible. It's just that Jalen Brunson's looked really good, and JJ BAREA is kind of taking this backseat mentor role. Now, again, I love JJ, but here are his numbers so far. 4.5 points per game, 4 assists, only 29% from the field, and he hasn't made a 3-pointer yet in his time in preseason. Now, he's only played in 2 games. I expect more games to be played soon. 14 minutes per game for JJ. Now, again, one of the reasons his stock is dipping is because Jalen Brunson's is rising. We'll pull up Jalen Brunson's numbers here again for you next to JJ Barea's in the preseason at least. 11 points, 4 assists, 60% from the field, 33% from the three-point arc. That's a lot better than JJ Barea's 4.5 points per game, 4 assists, and 29% from the field. Look, JJ's going to be just fine, but he is going to be a mentor on this team more than an actual spark plug that he is so used to be doing this year. But I think he's okay with that, and I think us as Mavs fans should appreciate him doing that. Now, guys, that wraps up our show today, but before we get out of here, I got to remind you to go to BetDSI, chatsports.com/BET. Use that promo code that we gave you in the middle of the show, NBA120. You get a 120% deposit bonus with BetDSI. When you just use that promo code, they're going to give you money to bet with that after you place some down already with BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.